Hello everyone, thanks for tuning back into my channel. I'm Nakia and welcome to my platform, Nursing Nakia. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, I would like to say welcome. And if this is not your first time tuning into my channel, I would like to say hello and thanks for coming back. So guys, this video, I wanted to come on here and let you guys know how my first week of my transition program has been. And let me say, it has been a roller coaster. Guys, I don't know if it's just this particular school or nursing schools in general, but it can be unorganized at times and frustrating and stressful. But I am determined that I'm going to come out swinging. So I'm going to talk about 3 different things. My lecture, I'm going to talk about my clinical, and I'm going to talk about my sim lab. But first, with lecture. If this is your first time tuning into my channel, I am in my transition program. I'm currently an LPN. I've been an LPN for a little over a year now, and this is my transition program. So I began on January 8th, and I will be finished May of 2025. So my transition program is 16 months. It's going to go by extremely fast, so I am ecstatic about that part. But with the school going fast, of course, that means there's going to be more work. Okay, so there's a small difference from when I was in my PN program until now. So when I was in my PN program, each semester was 16 weeks. Now with this transition program, it is 16 weeks in each semester, but we are breaking it up into 2 8 weeks. So that's a big change because with 8 weeks, that's similar to like my summer semester. So with this being a full 16 weeks, but it's broken down into 8 weeks, there's going to be more work. And so there's going to be less exams. So, but it still average up to be about the same. So right now, we just began module 26. Guys, whenever you hear me say module, that means the same thing as chapter. So we are on module 26, and that is the family. So we just got that, our very first day when we started. We have not even touched that module yet because of things going on with the school and stuff like that. So whenever you get your course calendar, which I have mine, it tells you when to start on an assignment and when the assignment ends. And it also tells you when you're going to start on your next assignment or next module. So right now, module 26, you should be already done with it, like I am. I'm done with my reading. I just have 2 more bullet points to put on my study guides. Again, if you are familiar with my channel, you know that I type out my own study guides. That's just for my learning and my retaining the information better. So I have 2 more points to do that, and I will do a new video on how I do my study guides. It's basically the same thing, but you might have a few twists here and there. So I have to finish that. And then I'm going to go over the school's PowerPoint and compare it with what I have on my study guide. So after that, I think I'll be efficient with what's going on in that particular module. Then after that, I'll make sure I'm, set with learning everything from that module. Then I will try to find some practice questions, either from ATI on that chapter, or maybe YouTube or some other platform that I can use to do some practice questions. When I do those practice questions and I feel like I know that particular chapter well, then I will go on to the next module, which is module 33. So I never want to jump to another module before I have succeeded with the previous module. And that's basically how my lecture class is. My lectures are on Mondays and Tuesdays from 10 to 12:50. So roughly maybe 3 hours, time you add in all the breaks. So that's a big deal, because last time I was in the PN program, my lecture started up at 8, and I think it lasted till like 11:30, if I'm not mistaken. But this time it's just 10 to 12:50, and it's 2 days. So Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll be in my work scrubs because I have to go to work right afterwards. So that's okay with me. Let's see, is that everything about lecture? So lecture is pretty straightforward, Oh, the greatest thing about lecture this time is, guys, I can record the lecture. So that is perfect. Because sometimes you'll have your recorder going and you might have to use the restroom or you might have to step out or something. So you can still be recording while you have to step away. And then when you get home and you can be like, well, Dad, did she talk about this or did she talk about that? You can always go back and listen to your recording. So we did have to sign a waiver stating that she gave us permission to record the lectures. And so that's a huge plus because I can always refer back to that. So I'm excited about that, guys. I know this instructor well because she used to be the dean, but now I think she may still be the dean, but she stepped in to help give the lectures too. So, and she's pretty straightforward. She just reads straight off the PowerPoints, guys. So every now and then you may have an instructor that just reads off the PowerPoint. So when you come home, it is up to you to teach yourself. You have to find various ways of retaining the information throughout the modules, whether that's reading the chapter, whether that's going on YouTube and looking up videos pertaining to that particular chapter, or just doing plenty of practice questions. So that's going to be my thing, is watching videos, doing my study guides, and doing plenty of practice questions. So I think lecture is going to be pretty straightforward. Now for my simulation lab. That's the class where you will go and practice some skills, whether new or old, because you might have to do, I know when you first start off, you have to do the head to toe assessment, which we did that in the PN program, but again, with becoming an RN, it's going to be more in depth. So you will learn a particular skill, or you will refresh a particular skill, and then you will have a day where you come in to get checked off on that particular skill. So I do love SimLab, guys. That's real fun. SimLab is also the platform or the space where you'll be doing more dosage calculations. So Wednesday when we were in SimLab, that's basically all we did for that particular day, is just review dosage calculations. She gave us plenty of practice sheets, which I need to finish up the one she gave us. And then 2, we have a few assignments that are due on Sunday. Every time you hear me say an assignment is due, 9 times out of 10 it is always due on a Sunday night at 11:59. And I think all colleges follow the same protocol as for when the assignments are due. Anything after 11:59 will be considered as late. So my SimLab days are on Wednesdays, and it's 2 groups. You have a morning group and an afternoon group. And I am in the afternoon group. So I start up at 12:30 and it ends at 3:30. And as far as work on that particular day, I work on Wednesday mornings. I work from 7 to about 11:30 because that'll give me ample enough time to get some lunch and head on to class. So, because my commute from work to school is about a good 25-30 minutes. So, SimLab is going to be really, really fun, guys. Now, when we get to clinical, this is where I say that it was some unorganization and it caused me to get a little stressed. And guys, if you know me, I try not to let myself get stressed out, but sometimes you can't prevent it. It's just life. So the clinical site that I was assigned to, it got switched at the last minute. So my clinical day is on Thursdays, and it's from 6:30 to 4, which is a complete 9 hours. Which I'm so glad this first semester is not 12 hours, but eventually I'm sure it's going to end up going to 12 hours. So the clinical site that I was supposed to go to one particular hospital. It got switched to another hospital, which is maybe like 5 or 10 minutes away. So it's really in the same vicinity. So, but before we can actually start that clinical site, we have a set of modules that we have to complete. So if you are familiar with any of the big hospitals, when you're doing your orientation, that's basically what it is. It's like you're applying for a job, and you have to do all of the modules for that particular hospital. So we had to do all that. And speaking of that, I have one more that they say is like the longest one to do. I have to do that one before I actually step foot in that facility on Thursday morning. So I will do that in a few. So this rotation is Med-Surg. Med-Surg is always the longest. It will be 2 months. And then the other 2 rotations are OB and Peds. They're 1 month each. So guys, I said if I don't get into NICU, then Med-Surg will be another specialty that I would consider working in. And that's because Med-Surg, I call it a catch-all because you can get anything from Peds to geriatrics and everything in between. So you're exposed to from A to Z. And so that's where you're going to soak up a lot of information and, a lot of knowledge. And that is going to go with you everywhere you work. And then eventually I do want to go back to be a traveler, get connected to a good agency once I'm done. And Med-Surg is always like 99.999% available for someone to work in. So Thursdays, clinical day, 6:30 to 4. I think we get maybe a 30-minute lunch, and you can break in between, when you have time. But clinical for Med-Surg is going to be awesome. I've already met the instructors. They seem to be cool. They seem to be very knowledgeable in what they do. So I think we're not going to have any issues. There are 6 students in my clinical group. Seem to be one. We were both PN students, so I'm thankful for that. So we will be well familiar with, the facility and where stuff is, because this facility that I'm going to, I used to work there when I was a medical assistant, but I was in the specialty clinics. So I'm well familiar with the facility and, where the floor we're going to be working on is located. So that's going to be a huge plus in my favor. So this week has been stressful, guys. I knew it was because, for one, my uniforms. Thank God I did not throw away my uniforms because I would have had to purchase new ones. The good thing about my uniforms, again, is that, they're green and then they have the white embroidery patch. This time they are green with black embroidery patch. But they did say that I can still use those uniforms, but I did order the black scrub jacket because I didn't want to be an oddball, the only one in there with the white jacket, and everybody else has black. So uniforms are still the same. Once I show you guys my clinical bag video, I will also have some pictures inserted of me in my uniform. So our colors are hunter green, pretty green color. We have a black jacket, and as far as an undershirt, we can wear white, black, or either gray, and then of course black shoes. So guys, this week has been stressful. Just working out all the kinks. I'm sure the weeks to come are going to be, going to flow right nicely. But I'm up for the challenge, as you guys know. So I'm never going to let anything beat me. But one interesting thing for clinical is that we get to do care maps this time. LPNs don't do care maps, but RNs do. And so we have this little sheet. I'll put it up for you. So with this sheet, it looks like a lot, but it's not. I will choose a patient that I'm working with that particular day. It's only one patient per month. So I can, if I have the same patient for that particular month, this is going to be a piece of cake. So let's say, for instance, my patient has diabetes. So you're going to list the pathophysiology, and what that means is, how they got the disease, or I just put how diabetes occurs within a patient. Then you'll put like the patient's current health problems, whether it's psychological, spiritual, developmental, physiological, sociocultural, stuff like that. All that little stuff is how you're going to fill out this sheet. But once you get to know the person and you can talk with the person a little more, that's where, filling out this sheet will come into play. I don't think it's going to be hard. Just by looking at it, it looks kind of, scary and, like, wow, I got to do all this. But once I meet my patient, to get to know him or her, talk to her or him, then everything will fall into place. So I think this rotation, I want to keep my mind open, keep it clear, because this might be a specialty that I consider working in once I become a new registered nurse. I don't know. We shall see. My top pick is always NICU because I love my peds. I feel like I'll be giving back to the community, just putting a smile on the parents' faces when their babies are doing much better, and then especially when they get to come home. That feeling and just to see that satisfaction on their faces is just priceless. So that's really why I want to work in the NICU. NICU has a very special place in my heart, pediatrics in general. So we shall see what the future holds. But guys, this is just a quick video. It's almost 17 minutes long. I want to go ahead and just give you an update on my first week of my transition program. There are going to be plenty more videos to come. Like I said, I want to do concept map videos and how I study and, what I carry to school on a daily basis and to clinical on a daily basis. Guys, those videos are coming and much more. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so that you will be notified as soon as I upload. So guys, until then, be blessed and be safe.